OGs in the building, Kate, Jamie and Micah. Yes, the original three are here with you. Huge night for Arsenal tonight as they beat Real Madrid 3-0. Big night for Inter Milan as well in Munich, where they got a 2-1 win over Bayern in the first legs of their Champions League quarter-finals. There is, though, only one place to start this evening. I think we've got to go straight out to the Emirates to our Gooners over there. Anita.
Now?
Yeah.
I was just checking. Okay. Yeah, incredible stuff.
Incredible.
Nobody saw it coming, if we're being honest.
I said it. You got to believe that you can beat them. I still believe that it was possible. I said when that team plays with the four, they are unbalanced, and they were unbalanced with Modric in midfield. It was a bit too much in the second half. Declan Rice came big on the two free kicks, but ultimately for me, like I said, Bukayo Saka created everything. The two fouls were on him.
Yes.
Every time taking the ball, running past 1, 2 to 3 to 4 players to go inside to get the free kicks. But overall, as a team, Arsenal played really, 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 really well. And now we were talking off air, and I will say it again. You can only claim that if you go through against Real Madrid, and it will be one of the best nights I've witnessed as an Arsenal fan, but you can't call it yet.
No, you can't, but it is a healthy lead. You know, people were talking about taking a 1-0 or 2-0 lead to the Bernabeu.
Barcelona
Nobody thought
also
3-0.
that they were in a healthy lead against the Liverpool of Sadio Mane and Mo Salah and whatnot, and they lost 4.
Leo Messi in that team, yeah.
So with Leo Messi in the team and everything. So I've said it before. Am I happy tonight? Yes, I am. But there is a leg at Real Madrid.
Thierry, can I just ask you a question? In the lead up to this game, we obviously looked at your goal in the Bernabeu. It was like one of those iconic moments in, you know, Arsenal's history in terms of the Champions League. But, I mean, will Declan Rice's sort of performance, the 2 goals tonight, it just felt like one of the great moments we've seen from an Arsenal player, you know, in the history of the club in this competition?
Yeah, definitely. If we go through, most definitely everyone will remember that night because it was against, and it is against Real Madrid. But once again, you have to give Mikel Arteta a lot of credit on repositioning Declan Rice, like Micah talked about at the beginning of the game, because you see now what he's good at. You don't see anymore him not wanting to be on the ball very low and being scared of making mistakes. He goes forward, he participates in games. He take free kick. I thought that, you know, at the beginning of the first free kick, I was like, oh, the guard's going to take that. But the first one, the position of the wall is questionable, especially when you have 2 men off the ball. It cannot only be 4 players there because that ball is easy to bend around. But for Declan Rice to realize it and whoever was with him also to let him do it, that's outstanding. And you can see, I mean, you can see it, by the way, how much the Arsenal fans are in love with Declan Rice. Not a lot of people are. There's always a debate, is it that great or not? But again, I'll go back to Mikel Arteta and what he did to put him in a position where he was going to show what he's good at.
Thierry, you must be happy, though. 12 shots, 11 on target. They pressed a little bit higher, clean sheet, all-round great night for Arsenal.
Yes, it was. And I will be honest with you, at the very beginning in the first half, I was like, once you have them against the rope, you need to punish them because we know what they're capable of doing. And by the way, the 2 free kicks of Declan Rice just did that. But overall, as you said, they pressed well. The fans were at it. Everybody was at it. This is, like I said, I can't go, you know, over the moon and be too happy about it because there is a return leg and we've seen teams coming back. And if a team can do it, it's Real Madrid. But am I happy with what happened tonight? Am I happy with the way, by the way, Bukayo Saka played tonight for not playing for a very long time? Yes, I am. But then I have to also be humble because there is another game, and you know they can do it. But like I said, you know, the performance of Declan Rice was just outstanding, and hopefully we can go through and that can go down in history a bit better. Because if you like, do you remember when we beat Real Madrid and you don't go through, it doesn't look right. So I'm just happy tonight, and that's
in this tie,
it.
though, history does favour Arsenal because, of course, your side did it back in the 2005-2006 campaign. We spoke about Declan Rice. We'll hope to speak to him or maybe one of the other Arsenal players soon, Kate, and we'll bring you those interviews, of course, with Real Madrid as well.
We want Declan, Anita, Thierry. We need Declan.
We do.
We'll try and get Declan's.
We're trying to.
Thierry can get anybody he wants.
Spread your wings, Thierry. Come on.
Thierry,
Anyone you want?
you helped build this stadium.
I did, indeed. I did indeed. Not alone, though, but I did indeed.
You laid one of the bricks, right?
Sorry? No, just, a couple of goals.
Oh,
my man!
Is it with Arsene Wenger back in the day? Anyway, Kate, we'll come back to you with some interviews shortly.
All right, we'll look forward to it. Thank you very much, guys. Good to see you. Ooh. Listen, I know Thierry's right. Obviously, you're only halfway through, but...
Thierry's always right.
But I think the rest of us kind of looking on just felt incredibly elated by that Arsenal result. It's a comprehensive win.
I think what's interesting from Thierry's point of view, what he's saying there, he is right, but he's an Arsenal man. He's an Arsenal fan, it's his club, and I think if it was Liverpool, I'd be saying the same, because you've always got this fear about your own club. You know, like, you'd always think, most people will say Arsenal are going to get through now, but if you're connected with Arsenal, you'd always fear the worst. But I do think it's fair to almost look at this as a standalone game. And we know there's a second leg, they're still not through, but I think we've just got to almost look at this in isolation as well and talk about the performances of Saka. Lewis Skelly at left back. I mean, 18 years of age. What Declan Rice did in midfield. This is a night he'll never forget, whether they get through or not. And we've got to remember, Arsenal aren't a superpower in Europe. They've never won the Champions League before. But nights like this will give them belief, not that they're just going to get through. If they do get through, they've got to believe they can win the competition. But even next season, these group of players, they beat Real Madrid 3-0 at home, the European champions, best team in the world, Mbappe, best player in the world. So I think this gives them an awful lot, gives them a great chance of getting through, but it just, for them confidence-wise, belief-wise, even going into the competition next season, I think it's a massive night that we should, celebrate now, and obviously we'll look forward to next week as well.
You just said about giving that confidence. Obviously, you won the Champions League. Did you have a game which you thought gave you the moment that Arsenal will have tonight, that give you that belief to say you can go and win the tournament?
Yeah, we didn't beat somebody that well. We beat Juventus 2-1 at home. That was Fabio Capello was the manager. I mean, they had Cannavaro, Thuram, Ibrahimovic, Nedved, Del Piero. So they had it was like a proper team when you're thinking everyone was like a renowned star. And a little bit like what Thierry said, we couldn't probably enjoy it as much because it was only 2-1. And the away goal rule was in the competition then. So if we'd have got lost 1-0 away, we were out. But we drew 0-0 away. And we got through, and that was like one of them moments where you think,
we belong here.
Yeah. We've beat Juventus. I'm defending for Liverpool. Cannavaro's defending for Juventus. He's a world-class player, and we've beat them. And it's that thing of psychologically, I think it gives you a lot, and I think it'll give them a lot. Going into the second leg as well, you'll have real belief that they can go there and get something.
So was that the night you began to believe you were better than Cannavaro?
You finished higher than didn't you? Ballon d'Or, didn't you, that year?
Well, I only played Cannavaro twice. Beat them for Juventus, beat them for Real Madrid. Beat them 4-0 over 2 legs for Real Madrid. 5-0, actually.
Touche.
Stats tell the story, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Most underrated player in world football, mate.
Who said that?
Me.